Good morning, students. Today we are going to take up a topic which you are very well acquainted with, and that is pollution. In this lesson, we are going to focus on air and water pollution, their sources, what effects do they have on human lives, vegetation, and what measures or mitigation methods we can adopt to reduce air and water pollution. So let's begin with the lesson. Now let us know what is air pollution. Air pollution refers to the contamination of the air by the addition of solid particles and toxic gases and fumes. There are several causes of air pollution. The first and foremost being vehicular pollution. Locomotives, automobiles, aircrafts have been increasing in numbers over the years all over the world. These vehicles are the major source of pollution in the urban areas. They emit huge amount of toxic gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogenous oxide into the atmosphere. All these together cause a lot of pollution in the air and have a very strong impact on the human population. Apart from vehicular pollution, industries also play a very important role in adding a lot of pollution. Though we know that industries are very important for us, nevertheless, they are also a major source of pollution, especially the iron and steel industry, the textile, sugar, leather, and cement industries are foremost, and they are responsible for emission of toxic gases in the atmosphere. Since these industries use huge amount of fossil fuels, so they also emit a lot of pollutants. Iron and steel industry is responsible for adding a lot of heat into the streams or rivers nearby in order to cool the iron. Similarly, textile industry uses huge amount of water, and the dyes or the colors which they use for coloring the yarns, they are also very toxic. So when they are being washed, the entire pollutants related to the dyes are added into the water, which results in large scale water pollution. Sugar industry are exorbitant users of water. They are water guzzlers industry. As a result, they also are responsible for using excessive amount of water and releasing a huge amount of pollutants into the water. Similarly, the leather industry, the cement industry are also responsible for creating a huge amount of pollution. Burning of garbage. Now, domestic garbage like waste material, kitchen waste, food, scraps, vegetable waste, cans, bottle, plastic, rubber, dead bodies of animals, etc. are burnt all together in garbage heaps. And as a result, they emit huge amount of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, which causes serious pollution in the entire area where they are being burnt. Soot, smoke produced by burning of garbage is extremely harmful for health. So we have to find ways and methods in order to check this kind of burning of garbage in the open. Apart from all these uh, pollution, which is mainly caused by industries, vehicles, garbage, there is another important pollution which is occurring, that is water pollution. Now, water pollution refers to when any stream, river, lake, pond, ocean, aquifer, or any other water body is contaminated with chemicals, microorganisms, or heat, which degrades the quality of water and rendering it toxic for human use. It is known as water pollution. So, here we can see how the pollutants are floating on the water. It is an indication that this entire water body is highly polluted. Now, water pollution is caused by domestic waste. Due to overpopulation in urban areas, huge quantity of waste is generated every day. Inadequate methods of collection of garbage can lead to these waste finding themselves into a nearby streams or a water body without sewage treatment. This causes water pollution. Spillage from manholes can cause groundwater pollution, which can become a serious hazard as it is nearly impossible to clean groundwater. So, all these are a very serious threat to mankind because when there is a spillage, that is, when uh, from the manholes, water or dirty, especially dirty water, is oozing out, it is very likely that it can enter the groundwater table. And once it enters the groundwater table, it can be very, very difficult to stop it and to clean the entire groundwater because it can be a serious hazard once the groundwater gets contaminated and it becomes very, very difficult to clean this groundwater. Elsewhere, we find that industrial waste is also responsible in causing water pollution. Industries release heat, polluting water and polluted water waste chemicals, residues, and several other toxic materials into the water bodies. Dyes used in the textile industries, which I have already talked about, acids, alkalis from pharmaceuticals, plants grease, cyanides, metallic waste from metal industries, all find their way untreated into the water bodies. All these lead to serious threat to the water bodies, causing damages to the biodiversity of the river reservoirs and other sources of water. Now, all these have a very strong impact on the human health and the environment. Let's see it one by one. Now, human beings are exposed to low levels of air pollution, experience symptoms of cough, soreness in the chest, sore throats, and headaches. Babies exposed to air pollutants during maturity of their organs suffer permanent changes in their organs. People who smoke cause health hazard to non smokers as they get exposed to carbon monoxide. If ozone gets depleted due to high concentration of CFCs, then people are exposed to skin cancer. So, all these have a very, very strong impact on the health and environment of the places. Air pollution also has a very strong impact on vegetation. Here you can see that if the vegetation is exposed to huge amount of air pollution, it can cause chlorosis among plants. Chlorosis refers to when chlorophyll or the green pigment from plants get removed. So here you can see that how the green color of the leaves have been removed or the leaves are deprived from chlorophyll. So it is very eminent that the plant is not likely to survive, because it is the leaves which are responsible for producing food for the plants. And if they are not having chlorophyll, if they are deprived of chlorophyll, then it is very likely that they will not be able to prepare food for the plants, and that will ultimately lead to the withering of the plants. Necrosis occurs when the tissues of the plant, especially the leaves, get dried up. So here you can see how the tissues in the leaves begin to dry up because of excessive pollution. Epinasty refers to the curving of the leaf on the upper surface. So in this picture, you can see A, how the leaves have been curved. B, the same plant when the leaves were not curved and they were fully healthy, which have, however, now led to the curling of the leaves, and this is mainly caused due to air pollution, and the process is known as epinasty. Dust, smoke, and air pollutants get settled on the leaves of the plants, and that also deprives the plants from getting enough sunlight, thereby depriving the plants to produce enough food for the entire plant. As a result, the plant is likely to wither or die in a few days. Now, what measures can we take to control or mitigate air pollution? Now, when we know that vehicles cause a huge amount of pollution, we have to ensure that there are lesser number of cars or vehicles on the roads. Now, the best method, especially in urban areas, to curb air pollution or vehicular pollution is carpooling. Now, it is the sharing of the car journeys so that two or more people can travel in the same car. Now, it refers to a situation where, suppose, four people from the same area have to go to the same destination or a nearby destination. They can all go in the same car instead of using four cars, and they can reduce the number of cars on the roads and thereby curbing pollution. It's very important to ensure that public transport is made a predominant mode in almost all cities. It includes bus services, taxis, auto rickshaws, e-rickshaw, metro railways, etc. Promotion of public transport is essential because it helps in checking air pollution to some extent. However, it is also very important to ensure that public transport remains efficient and well maintained. Then only more people will be ready to leave their cars at home and use the public transport. Since smoking cause a lot of problems and it is a health hazard to especially passive smokers, that is, people who are not smoking. So we have to have areas demarcated as no smoking zone. Now, these are areas where people are prohibited from smoking. Banning of smoking in public places is a sound public measure to protect the health of the non smokers. We have seen that fossil fuels are mostly responsible for creating a huge amount of pollution. It has also been seen, or it is felt also, that fossil fuels are not going to remain forever because their reserves are becoming lesser and lesser. So we have to depend on other alternative uh, sources of electricity or fuel. So such sources like wind energy, ethanol, biodiesel, biogas should be encouraged to be used, which can reduce pollution and also be an alternative and a better, cleaner source of a fuel. So, in this lesson, we have learnt how air and water pollution can be a major health hazard for not only human beings but also animals as well as vegetation. It is also very important for us to know that it is we who can reduce the air pollution as well as water pollution or any other kind of pollution. So, with that, I end this lesson. Thank you. That is what we have enough time for.